So we're back with another Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video. This time, something a little different from me. Usually I'm out here giving opinions, reviewing, talking spoilers, but today, we're in the endgame now. I want to walk you through my Deadshot build that's working for me at Mastery level 50. But before I do, if you're looking to stay up to date with Suicide Squad, Season 1 is on the horizon in under a month's time, so scroll down and hit that subscribe button if you're looking to stay up to date. And with all that said, let's get into this build. I'm in the process of making a video in terms of how to create a build yourself, how to look for synergies and make it from scratch, but strictly for today we're all in on Deadshot. So this build is a mixture of the Frenzy and Burn afflictions. There's a few master versions in here, but the normal weapons will do just fine until you start reaching the higher mastery levels. Now I'm going to kick it over to in-game me to walk you through the build piece by piece, explaining how it works before I show it off in some gameplay. Over to you, in-game me. Hello, thank you narrating me. So, let's walk through this build in its entirety then. So we're going to start out with the loadout, and then we're also going to have a look at what talent trees you want to be investing in to kind of support this kind of loadout. Like I say, this is a tier 3 Bane build. Now, tier 2 also works as well, but the thing that tier 3 allows us is a lot more focus on them critical hits. So tier 2 will be okay for this, but I would really suggest that when you can get the tier 3 items, you really focus on that. So as you'll see in the 2 weapon slots, we have the Master Sniper Rifle from tier 3, I'll make it quick, and the Master Assault Rifle, a Building Thunder. So the only thing that Master does obviously is improve the damage rates on them. But you will see that all these items have been deleted so that I can kind of apply my own augments to suit the build properly. So as with any real sniper rifle build, critical hit damage is the big one, and you'll see the 2 there are both focused on critical hit damage. Also on the assault rifle is critical hit damage and assault rifle damage. Now, you can go between either of these as your main weapon, but right now I'm really feeling the assault rifle. I'm not sure what it is, however I do swap to the sniper when I'm dealing with snipers from afar. In the melee slot we have the 2 faces Persuader. So this is again is a master version, regular it doesn't really matter. And the thing that this allows us that is really good is, first of all, that augment at the bottom, which is the melee damage on crazed enemies. That is really good, especially when you're shield harvesting. But also that synergy between Two-Face and Bane is that harvesting enemies now drops a grenade ammo, which is what we really want, as well as damaging further grenades. So the idea of this build is to do a lot of crit damage, but also we're really speccing into what the grenades can do. Speaking of the grenades, the Reign of Bane. So again, you'll see grenade damage to grunt enemies, but also again damage on crazed enemies. A lot of this build is going to be focused around craze and making sure that that affliction is applied. If we have a look at Bane's Fury, if you look at that second part, critical hits triggers Bane's Fury, also increases that damage against crazed enemies, also has the ability to inflict craze on other enemies. This is really key in spreading that affliction. Again, all enemies hit with a traversal attack become crazed. So as we're spreading out our fuel dump, bam, there we go again, crazed enemies. So we're just stacking all of this craze for allowing us to do bonus damage. We go back to this grenade and again, 40% damage on crazed enemies. Now, you'll see there that I've got the Diablo Blaze. That is going to give us that affliction, that burning. That ties in to our notorious villain, Heatwave's Molten Skin. As you can see, I've modified it again to do crit hit damage, assault rifle damage, and damage reduction. The key is that bottom part. Each enemy you burn that isn't already burning makes you invulnerable to damage. On the higher levels, when enemies pack a bit more of a punch, should we say, this is a vital. Now, obviously, Rocksteady came out and said this is going to be nerfed from completely invulnerable to 90% damage reduction. This is still going to be viable regardless of when that nerf comes in or not. The next part is our traversal mod. So again, a couple of cool things in here. Sniper rifle damage when I'm so far away. The key part is it being Poison Ivy's gear set. Number 1 is really nice in terms of increased damage to afflict enemies, which again we know that we're looking to do more of that through craze. The second part is what's really key. Critical hits have a stacking 5% chance to afflict the enemy with a random affliction. Now, you may not notice this in the moment-to-moment gameplay, however, when you really build up that combo and you're hitting them critical hits, As the snipers come, this is a really great way outside of counter-shotting snipers to afflict them and then therefore go in for the kill. Sometimes you may be struggling to get that counter on the snipers, so getting that affliction on them is really, really good, alongside what we're already doing with the ability to both craze enemies and burn them. This is another way of adding affliction, and affliction really does help build out all the builds here. The next bomb mod is the Hugo Strange one, and again it ties into affliction. You afflict 5 enemies with the same affliction, you then become invulnerable to damage from those enemies, which is just so helpful, especially when we're spreading so much affliction out there, whether that be craze or whether that be the burning. There's also this. Each time you craze an enemy, you gain up to 50% damage increase for 30 seconds, up to a maximum of 250. So when you then start pairing all these things together, we're stacking 250% damage here. We're stacking, when you look over to the grid with the Bane gear set, the critical hits is all stacking. You then look at the bottom part in terms of how much we're then getting traversal attacks. And then we go down to the bottom part in terms of, with our grenades, 40% damage on crazed enemies. All of these things is stacking, meaning we're doing a hell of a lot more damage. The final part, again, is Poison Ivy to get that 2-piece bonus. I'm not too overly worried about the augments on this one, as you can tell, but that's kind of how it goes. In terms of the talents, the things that you really want to be looking at, it goes back to these 2 parts here. So right now I've gone for Assault Rifle Specialist over Sniper. If you want to really go for that Sniper, that is absolutely fine. I kind of flick between the two, but right now I'm more in that kind of Assault Rifle range. And then other than that, the other real key one is about getting the critical reload. So at 30%, at 30 combo should I say higher, successful counters will instantly reload all firearms. This is vital, specifically on the Elseworlds mission where you're targeting weapons, where it's all about killing people and just collecting the charges. This is where you really want to focus, have this on, because there is a lot of opportunities to counter, meaning you're never really going to have to reload your weapon, and that is vital for stacking the damage that we really want to. Again, these kind of things, I went in expecting here because we're making sure the firearm and critical hit damage is up by as maximum as possible, and also here like build up rate of fuel traversal, all of these things. So this is how I've set my talent tree out, so I don't know if you want to just kind of go through. It's really up to you and your playstyle, but to get the most out of this current build, that is how you want to go about it. So like I say, we've gone for 3 tier 3 Bane items, getting the most out of the Poison Ivy, and all the villain synergy is tying in nicely to really help build out that affliction build. So I'm going to kick it back over to narrating me. He's going to show you some gameplay and walk you through exactly how this looks in motion. Thanks in-game me. So in terms of getting this build off the ground, you're going to want to utilise grenades and the traversal attack at the start to get craze inflicted and kills on the enemies. Getting that combo score up is the key to a good start with this build. After that, it's all about inflicting and keeping that combo high and keeping it going to inflict max damage, get the counter shots in and keep those weapons reloaded. Make sure that your melee weapon too has the venom affliction on it. That allows us to craze more enemies. On the higher difficulties, that affliction grenade is vital for staying alive, especially with them bloody annoying exploding enemies. Them boys, they need a nerf. That's where afflicting and then melee attacking enemies with craze generates those grenades, and it keeps a really nice combo going. So the overall loop is always traversal attack, grenade for damage on afflicted enemies, spread that assault rifle or sniper, get the kills, spread more craze, melee to regenerate the grenades and shields, do big damage, and then rinse and repeat, spreading those grenades, getting max damage and stacking all those buffs that I mentioned in the walkthrough. This build is a lot of fun. Enemies feel afflicted for long periods, the loop is just really nice, and it fits both the sniper and the assault rifle, meaning you're covered on those short range and long range encounters. But that's my tier 3 build. If you found this useful, dropping a like really helps me out as a smaller creator in this ruthless algorithm. Like I say, you want to stay up to date on Suicide Squad, knows how to create your own build? Hit that subscribe button, that video is in the works and so much more. Have a terrific day. I'll catch you in the next one.